The devastating events of September 11, 2001 forever changed history, highlighting flaws in transportation security. In the years following, there have been several attempted terrorist incidents, although very few have resulted in significant damage due to the heightened security. On September 11, 2001, 4 American Airlines planes were hijacked and crashed, resulting in the deaths of 2,977 people. At the time of the terrorist attack, airport security was minimal, and since then, Congress has taken the initiative to sign the Aviation and Transportation Security Act, which has notably increased airport security. However, people's rights to privacy regarding what they bring in and out of the U.S. has decreased considerably, and it continues to be the responsibility of Transportation Security Administration agents, or TSA, to implement the necessary measures to keep all passengers safe. Before September 11th, the airport experience was different, as passengers were permitted to board aircraft with various potentially hazardous items. For example, in a journal article on NPR's website, David Shaper says that the Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA, allowed knives with blades measuring up to 4 inches in length. Leading up to the events of September 11th, there was increasing tension. 8 years prior, Al-Qaeda executed a car bombing at the World Trade Center, which had little impact. Furthermore, according to the FBI, in 1998, the organization bombed 2 United States embassies in Kenya and Tanzania almost simultaneously, resulting in the deaths of over 220 people. Al-Qaeda intended to do more damage than these earlier attacks, though, leading to the planned events of September 11th. On that fateful day, 19 terrorists from the group Al-Qaeda successfully made their way through all airport security checkpoints with minimal resistance, boarding 4 planes in various cities in the U.S. The planes were hijacked and crashed into different locations, including the Twin Towers, the Pentagon, and a field in Somerset County, Pennsylvania, causing the loss of 2,977 people and altered countless lives forever.
Well, like I said earlier, I was very lucky to be that Kelly, my daughter, asked me to take her to school. Otherwise, I would have been in the World Trade. I was on the Verrazano Bridge for the first plane, and we all just thought it was an accident. But then I was going into the the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel when we saw the second one, and then you knew there was something wrong. You could see all the debris flying and all the dust. Scary. And then I got stuck in Brooklyn for about 5-6 hours because they closed everything down.
How often did you fly before 9/11?
I flew a lot for work. I flew a lot.
Do you recall what the procedures were?
Well, it was just through security, but it wasn't as drastic as it is now. They took, much more caution after 9/11.
It was evident that the security measures needed to be improved, and so Congress created the Aviation and Transportation Security Act. In George W. Bush's address to Congress on September 20, 2001, he announced the creation of the Office of Homeland Security. Speaking directly to the Taliban leadership in Afghanistan, he demanded,
"Release all foreign nationals, including American citizens you have unjustly imprisoned. Protect foreign journalists, diplomats, and aid workers in your country. Close immediately and permanently every terrorist training camp in Afghanistan, and hand over every terrorist and every person in their support structure to appropriate authorities."
How often do you fly now?
Quite a bit.
And how has it changed?
Just the lines are longer. It takes a bit longer to get through security, except I am part of TSA, so I've got the background check and all that, so it does cut some time off for you.
How did the new travel requirements make you feel? Do you believe that they are an intrusion to your rights of privacy?
No, not at all. I think they needed to be done after what you could see happened with the security not being as secure.
The Aviation and Transportation Security Act stated that it is necessary to require screening or inspection of all individuals' goods, property, vehicles, and other equipment before entry into a secured area of an airport. Preceding 9/11, any individual was allowed to access the departure area of the airport without needing to pass a security check. This new rule made it so that people needed to be screened before entering this area. Even though the rights of people to bring what they want and go where they please in the airport has decreased, it has created a much safer environment. Do you believe that the TSA has done its job in protecting passengers?
Yes, I do, as well as they can. There's always people that get by, just like that one not too long ago. She was on a plane and don't know how she got there. But no, I do believe TSA has done their job.
Do you believe that any additional changes should be made to security?
No, I don't think they can do much more than what they're doing right now.
Directly after the attacks, airports were in a state of chaos. All U.S. flights were grounded and canceled for 3 days. In addition, the financial burden placed upon the government was extensive. Lower Manhattan was in ruin. The cleanup operation took 10 months and $1.5 billion alone. Building replacement cost over $16 billion. And according to the September 11th Victim Compensation Fund of 2001, over $5 billion was budgeted for family compensation. This is a sizable cost. Out of the ashes, though, America was unified like never before. People from all over the country worked together to raise money, help clean up the wreckage, or were just there for someone who lost a loved one. What are your memories of how 9/11 brought Americans together?
Well, I think it definitely brought people together because it was just a tragic event for America in general, and everybody really pulled together, I believe.
Thank you. It was then up to the government to decide what steps to take in order to ensure the safety of U.S. citizens in the future. Following the attacks, the U.S. government searched for clues and discovered that the mastermind behind the attacks was the leader of Al-Qaeda, Osama bin Laden. They started a hunt to track him down, and finally on May 2, 2011, they found and killed him. Since the 9/11 attacks, significant modifications to airport security protocols have contributed to a safer travel environment. Section 111 of the Aviation and Transportation Security Act shifts the training and employment of security screening personnel from the administrator of the FAA to the undersecretary, and mandated a program for hiring and training these personnel. Additionally, the TSA was introduced into airport security. A timeline from the TSA gives a list of attempted attacks and how security protocols changed responding to each attempt. For example, in December of 2001, someone attempted to ignite a bomb hidden in their shoes. After that, they added a bomb detection system. Another example from the timeline shows an attempted underwear bomb in December of 2009. After that event, the TSA used advanced imaging technology, which detected non-metal explosives under layers of clothes. These are just a couple of the examples of how the government responsibly updated security protocols to give passengers the right to feel safe in a plane. Much of this still applies to us today. As previously mentioned, following most terrorist attack attempts, there have been improvements to security, and these improvements are still implemented today. While few might argue that increased security measures have been a violation of their rights and freedoms, the majority of people are more confident in flying, feeling a sense of comfort regarding the increased security. The TSA's mission is to protect the nation's transportation systems to ensure freedom of movement for people and commerce. The TSA has helped keep us safe in airports since 9/11. Without it, airports would be considerably less safe, likely resulting in more effective attacks. To conclude, the government has taken the necessary responsibility of heightening airport and transportation security following the events of 9/11 through TSA to ensure the right for passengers to have a safe experience while flying. The cost of 9/11 was unbearable, so the government did what it could to make sure an attack of this magnitude would never be executed again. Therefore, the long lines and extensive security measures taken for the purpose of keeping everybody inside the airport safe are necessary and reasonable.